The year was 1942. Deep within the forbidding wilderness of Telemark, Norway, sat the Norsk hydroelectric power plant at Vemork, a sprawling industrial fortress perched above a 700-foot gorge. This facility possessed the world's only large-scale producer of a crucial, almost mythical substance, heavy water, or deuterium oxide. For the German physicists racing to build an atomic reactor, a uranium machine, heavy water was the vital moderator necessary to harness nuclear fission. The Allies, particularly the Americans and British, were painfully aware that if Hitler's scientists succeeded first, the outcome of the war would be irrevocably, catastrophically decided. The Vemork facility became the most critical military target in Europe, second only, perhaps, to Hitler himself. The task of neutralizing this behemoth fell not to a massive bombing campaign, which risked untold civilian casualties and poor accuracy, but to a tiny band of 6 Norwegian commandos, all countrymen who had escaped to Britain and trained with the elite Special Operations Executive, SOE. Their initial codename, Operation Gunnerside, would become synonymous with impossible heroism. They were parachuted onto the desolate Hardanger Plateau in February 1943, joining an advance reconnaissance team that had been surviving on moss and melted snow in a remote cabin for months. The plan was suicide. The Vemork plant was ringed with minefields, floodlights, and armed German sentries, and naturally protected by the near-vertical icy gorge. Conventional wisdom dictated an attack from above, but the Norwegians knew better. They descended into the gorge, scrambling down frozen rock faces and crossed the icy, fast-flowing river at the bottom. Instead of tackling the heavily guarded front entrance, they used an unguarded, steep railway track that led directly up the cliff face, past the only pipe containing the crucial heavy water concentrate. In the dead of night, they slipped unnoticed through a cable entry point. The silence of the infiltration, broken only by the hum of machinery, was shattered moments later. The 6 men, having located the high-concentration heavy water production chambers, swiftly planted their explosives, small, precise charges designed only to breach the stainless steel cells, not destroy the entire facility. The lead commando, with the detonator set, paused just long enough to snap a wire from the explosives before joining his comrades in retreat. In a final, chilling act of defiance and foresight, they left a submachine gun behind, a British Sten, to signal to the Germans that this was a coordinated military operation by the Allies, not a local act of reprisal, hoping to spare the local Norwegian population from mass executions. The subsequent small explosions successfully ruptured the cells, causing over half a ton of irreplaceable heavy water to drain into the floor drains. The alarm blared across Telemark, but by the time the Germans realized what had occurred and began their frantic manhunt, the commandos were already racing across the moonlit expanse of the plateau, using their expert skiing skills to disappear into the vastness of the Norwegian winter. They were pursued by thousands of German soldiers for days, yet they were never caught. 5 of the 6 skied 250 miles into neutral Sweden and safety. The Germans eventually repaired the plant, but the damage had bought the Allies precious time. When Hitler ordered the remaining heavy water to be shipped back to Germany, the SOE, led by a team member Knut Haukelid, enacted the final tragic act. They placed a bomb on the ferry carrying the heavy water, the DF Hydro, sinking it and its cargo, along with several civilian passengers, to the bottom of Lake Ten, where it remains today, ensuring the heavy water was lost forever. This one act of sabotage, executed with precision and daring by a handful of commandos in the blinding snow, proved to be the single most effective action in the entire history of the Manhattan Project's intelligence operations, effectively ending Germany's practical chance of building an atomic weapon and shaping the course of the American century. Would you like to know more about the lives of the commandos after the war? Or perhaps another astonishing World War II true story?